So today we're gonna build this beautiful UI. The link is in the description. As you can see, we already have the color palette here. So I created colors.dart files which contains colors and remove the default code in the main.dart and start with void main. Stateless widget and just called it my app. Import the material file and just use material app. A stateful widget which is called homepage. We're gonna create a homepage here, and in a theme we have theme data, so cream or dark. We're gonna remove this, and the primary color would be the app colors we have defined here. That would be primary color. So button theme, I guess. So we have this, and we have defined how we're gonna app over look like. And let's see what we need to make, and we're gonna create the bottom navigation first. So let's go on the home page, make a scaffold, body, we're gonna go with the column widget. And if we go into the bottom navigation bar, we're gonna create so for bottom navigation bar, we're gonna define bottom navigation bar widget, and in that we will need 4 bottom navigation bar items. We're gonna specify the label as well as the names of our tabs, and afterwards we need to specify the type and the layout we will be using in our bottom navigation bar. For the layout, we will be using the standard layout, and for the type it would be fixed one. We're gonna define the background color of our bottom navigation, and now we're gonna define the font size so that it will not be visible. We're gonna select the selected item color, that would be button color as we have seen in the design, and afterwards we have our bottom navigation completed. I need to make it clickable, so current index is 0 on tab, just call it index, and set state, need to create a variable current index, make it private. Okay, current index equals to index. This kind of a gray shade we need, and this isn't a gray shade, so let's go to color gray, and sorry, not this one. Okay, and let's go to colors dot. If we go into gray, we have shade 800, which now it matches the design we have in home screen. We can have scaffold in here and a bar, the background of app colors dot primary color. We're gonna create a global list of the pages, so we're gonna store that and we can access those widgets. So first one will be our home screen, in which we will be showing our first page, and on our home page we're gonna just use that list as and use the index to navigate back and forth. So in this new home screen, we're gonna be building the menu or the drawer or the profile bar. So first we will go with the leading, so that would be the menu. So we will use an icon widget to that for that, and for the action or on the right side we're gonna make our profile, so that would be circle avatar, in which we will implement our photo, and we're gonna use we're gonna define the size of it as well as the background color. Afterwards we're gonna use the background color as the default as the background color of the scaffold, and Now we're gonna implement our body using column, and we're gonna implement the text. So for that we will be using the text.rich widget, which is also material 3 widget, and it is same as the rich text, but it just supports the material 3 profile. And in that we will define the text we have in the design, and we're gonna implement, or we're gonna specify the style we're gonna be using, as well as the style type or the text font family. So we already have defined that, and we can just use the headlines, and we're gonna define it the colors of the title. And on top of that we will have three different colors for new collection and the discount area. We're gonna set the remaining app colors, font app colors, as well as font weight for the text widget, and then we're gonna align into the center, because as in the design it's aligned in the center at the start. So we're gonna use a center widget, and we're gonna use size box to make a little bit of a padding on from the top. And we're gonna define our text style, so that would be like headline 1 or display large, and we will make it as same as much referenceable as possible from the UI. So now we're gonna code the middle section of the home page, that would be the image container. So first we're gonna define our stack. In that we're gonna use a container, we're gonna give it the size of like media query, as well as the width of media query defined by the size we can calculate from the UI. And we're gonna use that in a stack because we need to show the button out of bounds, because as you can see in the design it's just on the as an overlay of the container. So using stack we can show that. And after defining the margin as well as the border radius of the container, we're gonna define a material button, in which we're gonna give it a material button color, which we defined in the colors.dart. And we're gonna use that in a position widget, so we can use it in the bottom of the screen. And we're gonna unclip the behavior of the stack using clip.none, so it will show out of bounds or out of context area, as in this case. And we're gonna use the text widget as in child property, and we're gonna define the shop now along with the theme, as well as the size or then the font weight of the shop now button. So here we can have a height of 60. Now we're gonna define the shape of our button, so that would be rounded rectangle with the much more circular sides as seen in the design. Now, and we also gonna specify the type of font we're gonna using, the font size in the button. And after checking the design, now we're gonna design the remaining bottom area of the home page. So we're gonna start with the top sale headline, so that would be in a text widget, and we're gonna give it some spacing using side box, and with the color as well as the border size. And now we're gonna need to make two image containers in a just below the top sales, and we're gonna give it some padding, so like it will all remain consistent throughout the whole, like the widgets we're gonna use in the home page. And we're gonna give it more spacing, or kind of more padding, as the top sales is very near to the shop icon. Now we're gonna create only two image container for now, and we're gonna use a row for that. So we're gonna give it some size height, and we're gonna use row, and then we're gonna specify the image height as well as width, and we're gonna specify the sides of the image container, and we're gonna give it some spacing, and we're gonna define like how much width it will take on a usual device screen. And we're gonna repeat the same, or we're gonna just copy paste the container code in the row, and we're gonna just make some tweaks so that it will remain consistent in all the device screens. And afterwards we're gonna use the stack, because we need to show the bookmark icon on top of the image. So we're gonna use the image assets, and we're gonna use rather than using the image asset, we're gonna use that image in an image property of the decoration of the container, and just we're directly gonna use the icon button rather than using a stack. in the container child property. So we can just align it to the right hand side or top right hand side of the container, so it will just show there. And I'm gonna give it some padding so it will kind of look like it has some margins according to the design we have. And as an icon button already have a padding in itself, then we're gonna include the whole container in a column so that we can specify the text or the product name as well as the price using text.reg widget. So through that we can have the both the properties of name as well as the price in the same widget, and we can both gonna have a different kind of styling, or we can define different kind of font weight and font family for that. And here we completed our first image, and just we're gonna use some tweak and we're gonna give it some font size. Now we're gonna I'm gonna just extract this widget, and we're gonna create this custom widget so we can use it throughout the application. Using the same widget we can implement in the second product screen as well. So we're gonna give it a name of product view. That would be a stateless widget, and just need to pass some parameters like image path, title, as well as the price property. So we already created constructor for that, and through that just we need to pass this property and use the same property in the row, and deleting the previous container we have copied. So here you can see that we just completed our first home page. Just need to will add a condition that if the index value is less than or equals to 1, change the page, otherwise don't do anything at all. Now we begin creating the second screen, that would be product screen. And as you can see the design, it has a filter, and on top of that we have top sales headline as well as an icon, cart icon. So we're gonna use the scaffold, we're gonna define the color, and we're gonna add that product screen in our global screen list. And in the app bar we're gonna specify the color to primary color and elevation to 0, so it doesn't look out of design. And afterwards we're gonna implement our icon and gonna give it some size, font, and also gonna give size to the top sales headline, and give an icon button, and then we're gonna use the stack so we can show the green badge on that. We can also use badge, but I have used a container and I'm just showing it using the position widget, and giving and aligning it to as close to the container or the cart icon as possible. And afterwards we're gonna use the we're gonna use the grid view builder, because as you can see the second the column or the photos we have, the odd number of photos, they kind of have a different margin as compared to the first one. So in this, first we're gonna create some filters. So for that we're gonna use the list view builder. We're gonna use the list view, and we're gonna implement the filter using the chip widgets. We're gonna define the avatar, how it's gonna look like for the filter button, and we're gonna specify the labels and also we're gonna specify the style, the text style, as well as the background color of the filter we are implementing for the product screen. So for now we're gonna implement the selected filter, that would be the FW 2023, and we're gonna give it some color, as well as we're gonna define the other remaining widgets with the shades of gray, because those are not selected, and those are haven't been selected in the filter widget. And we're gonna use the sort by, and once give some padding, so it will look like it's in centered for the chip widget. And gonna give it some size width padding, so the widgets are seemingly have this flexible spacing between them and consistent spacing between them, so it will look exactly as we can see in the UI. So as you can see, we have the filters ready, and we're gonna gives it some we're gonna change the size border of the selected one, because we can see a little bit of borderline on that, and we're gonna make it the primary color, so it will just blend with the background color. We're gonna give it the weight, font weight. I'm gonna make it a little bold with the weight of 700. So we're gonna extract the filter widget, so we're gonna create that into a stateless widget, and afterwards we're gonna implement the grid view builder with the fixed cross axis count. So we can just specify the two, we need just only 2 child per row, and we're going to specify the spacing, child aspect ratio, as well as the main axis or cross axis spacing. And we're going to use the media query so that it just aligns to the others. It has a responsive layout, and we're going to implement the child scroll view, so like it doesn't need to be bound to a specific height, so we can just use it more efficiently. And on top of that, we're going to use the bouncing scroll physics, so it, as the top margins in the UI of the right side of the grid is different, so we're going to use the index dot is odd as a condition, and we're going to specify the padding of the right one from the top a little bit more, so it look consistent with the UI we have. And we're going to create a new constant. In this, we're going to specify the map of product details, in which we're going to have the product name as well as the product price, so we can use that map in the list in the grid view builder. Along with that, we're gonna implement a list also, which will have the images path of the products we are using. As I already have the image added in the asset folder, I'm just specifying the name of the images we're gonna use. And after specify the names of the 4 images and the product price as well as product name in the product details map, and implement the same in the product screen page. So we're gonna use the constant.product image with the index, so we just can change if we have new products directly under the map as well as in the path in the list, and we don't have to change anything here. Now we have our constant.file. We're gonna refactor our app and screens a little bit. We're gonna create widget folder as well as screen folder as well as page folder, and we're gonna move our specific pages into their specific folder, and we're gonna also move our constant file into utils folder. So we have that a file structure ready, so we can use it anywhere, and we have the specific naming convention for them, so we don't need to search for it. We can just go into the folder and check out the appropriate dart files. In the product screen, we're gonna create the functionality of bookmarking or favorite and product. So we're gonna create a constructor is favorite, and we're gonna make a boolean and conditionary operator. So if the condition if it's favorite, the icon color will be changed, otherwise it will not change. And we're gonna also specify function. So on pressing icon button or the bookmark button, so the condition will it will check for the condition, and if it's checked, then we have you can say we have a bookmark product. And I'm just using set state and just checking for the condition is changed. As soon as it's change the condition of the product details model we have, and we can just use that, and we can create our bookmark functionality in the application on the product view screen. I'm just passing the function as well as its favorite widget. As using the maps or list is too complicated and not scalable, we're gonna create a model that will be called product details class, in which we will have name, price, a bookmark, a boolean that is his favorite, and the images path. And using this model, we're gonna specify the name, the price as well as the image path in a single class, rather than defining 2 different map and list for that. And using this, we have a single place of access of the data in the application, and that is also scalable. We can also convert it into .json from JSON, or we can create a data class of the same. And if we are fetching from the web, or from the network, we can use this class, and this will provide a scalable and more compatible way in the application connection. And right now I'm just specifying the prices as well as the image path rather than using the both map and the list. And we're going to define that same thing using the constant dot product details model, and with the constructor that I have created in that. And with that I can access the data in the whole grid view, and I don't need to create another boolean for that. I can just change the is boolean, is favorite boolean I have created when the set state calls in the set state call, and this will change its variable. And after that it will just need it. Yeah, I can just change it every time, or I can just change it on the demand based on if the user clicked or not. And I don't need to check for the condition that's clickable or not. I just can have a uh, uh, complement check on that. Now we're gonna design the last part of the application, that is the scrollable image viewer or the container on the home page. So for that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna implement a list, because as you can see that it's scrollable, and as soon as it scrolls, the index has to be also changed. So we're gonna use the page view because it gives the functionality of scrolling horizontal vertically. And we're going to use the clamping scroll view so it doesn't show us the background if we scroll too wide. And on that we're gonna give it some radius, and on paged function we're gonna create an integer variable called page index, and as soon as it's called we're gonna change the index. So using that page index we're gonna change the animator or the indicator we're gonna create. So we're gonna create an animated container. We're gonna give it a milliseconds of 375, not the seconds here. And we're gonna specify the height, and decoration would be because the container is very small in height, we're gonna create a radius or a circular radius of that, and we're gonna check how it will look like. And after it's looks same as in the design, we're gonna implement that in a list builder. So we just don't need to implement anything else. We can just use the same thing, and based on the index we can use it on our page index viewer, as you can say. And now I'm specifying the item count and the horizontal axis. As you know, we cannot use directly the list view builder because of we have to specify the height, and it's in the column. So I'm just specifying the width as well as the height of the 40 or less than that. I'm gonna specify some padding so it looks more identical to the design reference we have. And we're gonna give it some margin so it have some horizontal spacing between them. And after that we're gonna check if it looks same as in the design. And we're gonna give it condition if the color is selected one, shows the gray, shows the white color, otherwise shows the gray color. As we have used our image container in a stack previously, so we don't need to implement anything else. We just need to copy the whole list builder and use within a position widget, so we can specify the left and right hand side margins using media query and deduct specific pixels from that, so it will show a constant in every screen we use it on. And after specifying the height, we can see that we have a container ready. And